United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty and everlasting God, who presides over all things in heaven and earth, come and preside over these deliberations so that those that make the decisions may be guided by your wisdom.
Amen. Thanks, Tracy.
All right, welcome everyone to City Council meeting for July 10th. We have 4 items on our agenda. Roll call.
Mr. Barrett?
Here.
Mr. Belishko?
Here.
Mr. Mirren? Here. Mrs. McClay is excused. Mr. Brooks?
Here.
Mayor George Brown is in attendance. Controller Tony Thomas. Administrator Charlie McCormick. City Attorney Tim Henry. And Assistant City Clerk Tracy Smith. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's regular session of council. Please turn off all cell phones. Following are examples of some important council rules. They are not intended to be a complete list. Please adhere as closely as possible to the 5-minute speaker presentation time limit. No persons are allowed to address the council from beyond the rail, except the speaker at the dais who has the floor. The chairperson shall preserve order and decorum and prevent attacks on personalities. The chairperson shall determine all points of order. No person except city officers or their representatives shall be permitted within the rail during any meeting without the express permission of council. Council kindly asks that the public please vacate the building within 10 minutes after the meeting adjourns. And finally, when members of the administration are speaking, please use the microphone.
Okay.
Okay. Pending legislation.
Okay, we have 4 items on our agenda: an application for a fire alarm, two applications to Harrisburg for grant money, and an ordinance second reading for the Community Development Block Grant Program. Anyone would like to speak on those items on the agenda? Angel Mathis, hello.
Hello, Angel Mathis, Wilkes-Barre. What I'm trying to figure out is, I understand that they're passed through, but why are there one for the South Main Streetscape Phase 2, but then one for King's College Streetscape? Because quite honestly, I understand if the city is going to take on that $3 million, if it's something that the city needs for $3 million, I understand passing that through the Finance Authority, because I know you guys do not make that decision and you just have to pass it through. But what I fail to see is the fact that Kings consistently asks for all of these $250,000, $500,000, all of these dollars, where, you know, it's not like the city of Wilkes-Barre could get even a discount for going there. It's not like we get special treatment for our kids to go there when, you know what, you take 10 to 15 tuitions and they can raise that money, considering that, one, that they are educational, but two, they are affiliated with the Church of the Holy Cross. I just feel that this $597,855 could be better used elsewhere, considering that they just recently got LSA grants of $200,000 for their safety. So is the state not a bottomless pit for Kings? So I would advise you to say no.
Anyone else on pending legislation? Mr. Troy.
Yes, I echo the previous speaker's sentiments, and I just want to comment, okay, some people can't make it on Tuesdays, right? I don't know if the details were revealed there. This $3 million is just for Phase 2 of the streetscape, is that correct? That's not the whole project, that's just Phase 2, correct?
That is correct.
So, in Phase 2, I had a little bit of an overview from Kathy. I think that involves new sidewalks and so forth, and garbage receptacles, and I guess a few new trees. This is on South Main, correct? Mostly?
Kings is North Main.
Well, this has nothing to do with Wilkes, though, correct?
Correct.
Because when Wilkes did, I mean, I would like to know more specifics from the perspective of someone who's concerned, first of all, let me just say, the $3 million is a lot of money to pour into. I mean, I guess there's some details I'm missing here. But as usual, the money is being directed towards the downtown, towards improving the downtown. I guess I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, I mean, technically, but $3 million, couldn't we better use that to improve other neighborhoods of the city? This, I guess, is a combination of the agenda of the mayor and council. I'm in the dark about that. But whatever the reason, whatever the source, you know, we have, I don't think I have to point out to you, I pointed this out several times, we have, it's just along the lines of what she said, the money should be directed towards, I don't know if she mentioned this specifically, but other neighborhoods of the city which continue to deteriorate. I mean, I know in my neighborhood in the Heights, South Wilkes-Barre to some extent, as I was saying, telling council before, my grandparents used to live in the last block of South River Street, which was just back in the 50s and 60s, which was gorgeous. And why can't that money, which I understand now looks really, is really deteriorating, so why couldn't some of this money be used? I mean, I don't assume that it can't be used for other parts of the city. You know, does everything have to be, and yet the downtown has some real sore spots here. You know, we have Main and Northampton. As far as the $3 million to, what is it, $600,000, or close to $600,000 for Kings, again, I have an understanding of some of the details, but let me just comment that the last time Kings did, as far as I'm concerned, a streetscape project involving, and I was talking to Mr. Thomas about this, just rehashing what happened here. The last block of North Franklin, the block with the steep hill, which was involved in that streetscape project of Kings. I mean, Kings should have some sort of, you know, battle plan or a strategy I don't know what the details are in terms of cutting down trees, but it was disturbing, even if you're not a tree hugger or an environmentalist, to look at the last block of North Franklin, which was part of the streetscape project. My point is, King's track record on streetscape project is not very good. So I would like, you know, if I were on council, and I might urge council to do this, to get a few more, maybe you have more understanding as usual about this than me, but I would like a detail by detail description of what's going to happen here. Because getting back to that situation on North Franklin, there were 50 to 100-year-old trees on that block. Gorgeous trees on both sides of the street. Now, I don't know if any members of council or the administration, mayor or Charlie, have been down in that area, but I think it's now a disgrace. Now, okay, the sidewalks are new. They got garbage receptacles. They conform to the American Disabilities Act. They got ramps and so forth. That's fine. But all those beautiful trees are gone. And Kings did that. It wasn't the city's project. It was King's streetscape project. I remember when I was chairman of the tree commission, I inquired about this. I got some doors slammed in my face and some receivers slammed down on the other end of the phone as to what was going to happen to that last block of North Franklin Street. Now, they did salvage some stuff. Union Street was part of that project, and Union Street isn't too bad. But that last block in North Franklin, guys, we lost a lot. The city lost a lot there. It's heartbreaking. It really is. I would urge, if you haven't been down that area, you know, in a long time, I would urge you to go down that last block and see what the track record is there, because it's very poor. And I would consider that when making the decision tonight. Put it on the back burner.
So, Sam, it's not downtown, South Main Street going all the way down to Wood Street in South.
Wood Street.
Right, and it's for new street lighting, benches, bike racks, garbage receptacles, and trees, because I always push for trees too. Sidewalk connections, crosswalks, paving of the entire street. So it is well needed, and I'm glad it's for the South Wilkes-Barre neighborhood, and I'm always pushing.
We never
do
see eye to eye.
I'd like to invite Tom Butchko from King's College to give the details for you, if you'd like to, Tom. Thank you.
So the college is asking for support for grant money to do some renovations to the streetscape. What we're looking to do is...
Speak up, sorry.
Sure. What we're looking to do is to, improve the safety and the pedestrian traffic in the area, improve the visibility of it and the appearance of it. So there's a section that would be from the public square area to the end of Bennett Place. There's a lot of red brick pavers in there that are all broken and beat up and whatnot, so that'll get replaced. Sidewalks, then we would look at to do the block between Union Street all the way to Jackson Street. And then the other section would be Jackson Street all the way up to North Street. So sidewalks would be replaced.
They give it a name for the record? I'm sorry to interrupt, but don't you have to give
Tom, it's
He
Tom.
did, Tom Bushko.
Tony introduced him.
Tony called him up by name.
Tom Bushko.
Tom Butchko.
That's what we're saying.
So again, making it safe and accessible also with the ADA access, just dressing up the area, curb cuts in there for the areas that have to get traveled by. And again, I'm just trying to improve the area. Kings is an urban campus. It's not just the Kings footprint, Kings campus. It's actually, Wilkes-Barre City here, so we have people that are coming and going, all the time. We just sort of share some of the areas where people are traversing, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
I appreciate it. I'll just want to make one comment about the grant fund from Harrisburg, the multimodal transportation fund. We do not set the process, the parameters of what that fund is for. The governor's office and the state legislators does, and it behooves us to make applications to these grants and let any entity in Wilkes-Barre to apply for this fund. Is there any other one on this pending legislation to make a comment? Okay, seeing
On the agenda?
agenda item.
Yes.
On these grants.
Yes.
Come on, state your name, sir. Or these applications to grants, I should say.
Right. I'm Alan Rosenbaum, and I think like Wilkes and Kings always does a pretty good job with what they have. So, and I sort of have a secret hobby. I started working for Father Carton a couple dozen years ago on the radio at Kings. So it seems like they're doing a pretty good job there. And they treat me very well. I mean, I'm spoiled, because I'm actually Lutheran, and so they don't mind that. And Kings does a very good job with all the money, it seems, except since COVID, I don't get a free coffee anymore. I can't go upstairs. But they put in a beautiful water machine, so I'm drinking water. I lost 7 pounds this year, so actually it's very good for me. And I guess I have very much faith in Kings and Wilkes College. And because I remember, 20 years ago, Father Carton came down, and I was saying, you were just going by faith, because I got all these Christian CDs mailed to me, and that's what I do. I play country Christian music at Kings, Saturday and Sunday morning. So I'm going by faith. I just rip it open and put it in, because I never heard it. I figure it's hillside music, it's got to be good. There won't be any cursing on it. So anyway, Father O'Hara comes down and says, and I said, should I do this or that? He said, no, just do what you're doing. And he said, you said going by faith 11 times in the last hour. And I said, so what should I do? He says, just go by faith. And that's all he said to me. And then Sue Henry tells me he's the boss. I did not know he was the boss. He was the president of King's College. That was 20 years ago. So anyway, I feel that King's does a very good job, and they're very fair. And I don't know if you want to touch on, I'm asking for a handicap spot, or should I come back up for that?
That's later.
Okay.
I'll back up for that.
Okay,
Great.
so I just have a lot of faith in them. Okay, thanks.
Anyone else on these legislation? Great, thank you. We'll move to voting.
All right.
Consent agenda.
So we'll need a motion and a second on the consent agenda, which is the 3 resolutions and the minutes.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mirren,
Second.
second by Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Belishko?
Yes.
Mr. Mirren?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Then we have one ordinance for second and final reading, which is filed council number 4 of 2025.
Motion?
Motion by Mr. Belishko,
Second.
second by Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Belishko?
Yes.
Mr. Mirren?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Everything passes.
Okay,
Yep.
good. All right, council presentations. Councilman Belishko?
Nothing since Tuesday, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Councilman Barrett?
Just about a week ago, I sent an email to the administration, specifically Charlie and the mayor. I mentioned about Laurel Run Creek, which is an area below Scott Street, runs along Mineral Street, was pretty well overgrown, and a resident had brought it to my attention. And I just want to say, within 4 days, there was a crew in there, in the creek, cutting down everything that they needed to be trimmed back or cut back for flood prevention. I mean, I'm always amazed when I see something like that. I'm not talking 1 or 2 people, I'm talking about a crew was in there. And I went by and I looked at it, and it really, so thank you. I know that it's hard to keep up on these and hard to get down in there and do that type of work, but certainly much appreciated by the residents up there. Second thing, a resident called me about a handicap parking space in front of their home. The resident has had 18 spinal operations, pretty well disabled, has a handicap placard, lives near a housing development, and there's a little bit of a fight for parking on the street, a little bit tough. So he would like to get a spot in front of his home, like a lot of people do. And our ordinance requires that you have a plate on your car. And he doesn't want a plate on his car. He felt that, I don't like to advertise that I do have a disability, I understand that. He has a placard. There are a lot of people that have handicap placards that don't even have a driver's license. They have somebody taking them back and forth, and they're mobility challenged. So I started looking into it a little bit, and the City of Philadelphia, placard or plate. City of Allentown, placard or plate. PennDOT regulations. City can establish these zones, which we have, these permits, placard or plate. I know people personally that have these placards that have challenges, do not want that plate on their car, or for whatever, they don't even drive. Obviously, a lot of these people do not even drive, and they do not want to go out and get a plate for somebody else's car. So my point being is, this is an ordinance. I want council to consider, and I'll put this in writing to all of you, that we amend that ordinance to allow persons with a valid handicap parking placard to apply for a permit, a reserved parking space in front of their home, just as the people with the plate do. Other cities do it, PennDOT allows it. I understand we put that little tag on there that says you have a HP plate or disabled veteran plate right under the sign. We could very easily put the placard number on there as well. I just think it's a difficulty, and we want to help these people that have these disabilities, that want to and need this parking. They don't have a driveway, you meet all the other requirements. Parking is a challenge for them, and getting around is a challenge for them. So I think we should join a lot of the other cities and allow our residents that have the placard and have the disability meet all the other requirements to apply. So if we could ask that maybe our attorney could look into this and see what would be involved in doing that. And I ask that you all give it your thought and consideration, and thank you for that.
No, I'm going through the same thing in South Wilkes-Barre, and I learned that they needed a plate. But it saves that resident. I could park there with a handicap placard, and now that person doesn't have that spot.
Right.
You know, unless you put that number on the number
On the
that's
plate.
on the actual
Right.
placard.
Just like we do with the plate.
Right.
And that's what the other cities are
That's
doing.
would have to be in there,
Sure.
yeah.
And I understand that. Otherwise, it looks like any other handicap parking space
Right,
without
right.
that on there.
Sounds good. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilman Mirren?
Yes, I have 2 things for Charlie. There's a stop sign being blocked by trees on the corner of East South Street and South Grant. I've been trying to get this cut for like 3 weeks, and for some reason, they can't find it. I talked to Dave Lewis, and it's like I sent pictures, and it's still blocking. It's very, and if you're not familiar with the area, you'll go right through there. Yeah, East South and South Grand in the corner there. And also, I got a phone call today about 9 Joseph Lane. I guess there's a lot of trash there. I guess overgrown weeds and et cetera. So I did send you some pictures. I'm not sure if you got that. I sent it a little late. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you. Public discussion. Victor Zolkowski.
You're good.
Hi. Yeah, I'm here to address, my name is Victor Zolkowski, I'm from Miners Mills, about Exit 2 off of the Cross Valley. About 4 years ago, during COVID, I called into one of the meetings. I was in contact with Bill Barrett, and at that time, John Marconi, who was council then, and they had discussions with the mayor, and I believe it was also with Eddie Dapachinsky. And I believe there's 2 traffic studies been done on that. And it was just basically the PennDOT doesn't want to do anything about it. But in the last couple weeks or months, I should say, I've driven by an accident there. I've also seen lots of glass and things there. But recently, and I don't think you guys like, but Bob Kotobalski, he has had videos of accidents in that area, and a number of them in the last number of weeks. So that's why I'm back. You know, this was 4 years ago. I left to go figuring it was a done deal, but now I think it's time to give it a shot again. My wife and I drive that every day. We have grandchildren on the west side, and you know, we're through there every day. I have friends and family members who refuse to get off at that exit. They'll take the exit in Plains, or they'll go up to the mall and get off there. And so, like I said, I have 3 questions. I mean, I can go over, you know, a lot more things if I want, but one of the things are, why are we the only exit off the Cross Valley without a light, Wilkes-Barre? Every other exit off the Cross Valley has a light. I know they're going to say because of the traffic study, but are they doing a traffic study on the boulevard or just on that exit? Secondly, does PennDOT feel it's safe to come off of a major highway, come to an exit, and then have to cross 3 lanes of traffic to get off of that exit? I mean, there's 3 lanes there, and you never know which way they're turning, which way they're going. People coming from the right, nobody uses a blinker, they turn off. I mean, you'll be waiting. And the other thing is the city willing to, you know, give this another shot to try and help us out there? I mean, it's, you know, it's a dangerous situation. It's a very dangerous situation. And basically, that's, you know, that's all I have to say. But one of the other things now, since we're talking about, if you come to the exit, bushes to the left of the exit, grass or bushes, they're kind of getting overgrown. And if they can be trimmed back a little, I mean, you know, people go through that anyway, but, you know, if they can be brought back.
Good.
Thank you.
You can stay there if you want, Victor. So we have been talking about this at the last 2 council meetings. The same issue keeps coming up, and Councilman Barrett has been taking the lead on it. Would you like to give your speech again?
It's kind of a canned speech by now, but
I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
you know, it goes back to, as you said, years back, and we met with PennDOT, mayor, and state representative. My point on this, my take on this is, PennDOT came back to us and said, you want a traffic light? We'll do a traffic study, and if we approve it, you can pay for it and put it up yourself, if we approve it. My take on it is, if it weren't for that state highway exiting onto a city roadway, we wouldn't need a traffic light. I think the burden should be on the state to put the traffic light at the end of their ramp, which is exiting onto our roadway. They don't see it that way. There have been accidents there. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like getting off at that intersection. Yeah. 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning, not bad. Try that at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, make that left turn there.
Yeah.
And those of us that live up that way or travel up that way regularly will tell you, and I agree with you, I know a lot of people that purposely avoid that. They're just afraid.
Yeah.
And then it starts backing up and you can sit behind people, and I don't blame people for being apprehensive turning. It's a left turn getting off there onto that roadway with multiple lanes coming at you from both directions, and they're not going slow. No, it's 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, and you know how people are. 35 is just an arbitrary number to some people, and everybody's in a hurry, and it's very, very difficult, and I think it's, I hate to use the word dangerous, but it is. It is dangerous, and I think that the burden should be on PennDOT, and you're right about every other exit off that, whether it's on the west side of the river or wherever it is, there's a traffic light, except there, for some reason. There's a reluctance.
Well, I went through Plains purposely this morning to take a look at that situation, and they have, I think, 7 traffic lights there. I mean, it's a busy area.
Yeah.
It's a very busy area. But the fact is, they're within 100 yards of each other. This is the other traffic light there is probably a good, quarter mile
Or better.
up the road, so,
Well, thank you for coming in, and I mean, it's not forgotten by us by any
Thank you.
stretch. We do bring it up all the time, and
thank you,
I
guys.
think they're aware of it. Thank you, sir.
And Charlie, is it PennDOT's responsibility to cut those bushes, or it is? All right, we'll pass that on to PennDOT. Angel Mathis.
I know what you mean.
Before I get into my Angel Mathis, Wilkes-Barre, before I get into my 2 things that I did bring up, I want to say thank you, Bill, because I do understand how the whole thing, that was the issue when I lived on South Franklin, that I have, currently in the boot again. I have ambulatory issues, and the fact that you can only get a handicap parking spot if you only have a plate, because I looked into that as well, because that was always a parking zoo. And then the other thing, next year, when it comes to this specific streetscape project, don't put one in specifically for Kings, because quite honestly, from the time that I lived above the S&W before, the 13 years before Kings bought it and displaced 7 families, it's a lot of issues with the sidewalks past north up to, Hollenbeck, that really, really need to be done, because quite honestly, when I lived above the S&W, those same sidewalks were already done, and that was less than 6 years ago, or close to 6 years ago. That brings me, just keep that in mind. More money, city streets, because quite honestly, had the one sidewalk been done above North Street, I may not had had to have my ligaments reattached in my ankle. So my first thing is, will the city consider having a large appliance pickup? Because there are growing, as I walk, sometimes when I walk through, I see, maybe an appliance on the side of somebody's house, maybe in the back of somebody's house, but people are buying appliances, replacing appliances, but not properly disposing of appliances. And I think that would be one thing to help clean up the city. And besides, it's a quality of life issue. Secondly, Trump cuts, Mr. Mayor. Are we expecting any new cuts handed down federally? And that's it.
Okay.
Sorry, Angel, I did not hear what you were saying.
Are we expecting any more federal cuts?
I'll wait till you're done.
I'm done.
All right. Angel, yeah, we do a white goods appliance pickup every year. Okay, we started about 4 years ago. So we do where you could put your white goods out, you buy a ticket downstairs. We also added mattresses and things like that last year. We do the e-cycling where you take electronics and we also do shredding. So we've incorporated several of those things in the last several years. So my plan is to continue that. Yes, we'll continue to do that. Okay?
Okay.
As far as cuts from the Washington, D.C., we don't know yet. We don't know what's going to happen. Originally, we were concerned about cuts to the health department. There's only 11 in the state. We have one of the 11. We were concerned about cutting some of the monies that we receive in grants that keeps the health department going. Major part of the way that we fund the health department is through grants. We're still waiting to find out. Also HUD, that actually funds our CDBG budget every year, waiting to find out there also. And then also FEMA, there was a concern about the BRIC program in FEMA. With the situation and this terrible thing that happened down in Texas, I don't know if that's going to make a difference as far as the FEMA being cut. Don't know yet. We're not getting any reports. I just want you to know that we did meet with Congressman Bresnahan. I met with representatives from Senator McCormick's office and Senator Fetterman's office and expressed concern about the cuts to the health department, okay, funding that we get from DC, the HUD funding, and then also, as I said, the funding for the BRIC program through FEMA. So we expressed our concerns about it, how it's going to be very difficult for us to fund these things if we do have these cuts. As we hear something, we'll be happy to publicize it, but we haven't gotten any responses back yet. Okay, but yeah, we're going to do the white goods pickup again and continue that.
Can you do it soon?
Pardon me?
Do you think you'll have it done this year?
Oh, yeah, we'll do one this year. Sure. And then also, I want to do the mattresses, the chairs, the furniture, and then also electronics, recycling, and the shredding. Okay?
Thank you.
Sure.
Angel, I also want you to let you know that there are 13 streets that are going to be paved, and these are all in the neighborhoods. Mundy Street, Fulton Street, Thomas Street, Barrier Street, Schreiber, Pennsylvania Avenue, South Sherman, Dana, Noble, Hanover Street, Westminster, Austin Avenue, and North Mead Street. So there's,
The paving is not the problem.
So those-
Sidewalks are.
okay, but there are streets that are be done. Oh, that's not for you. Sam, try. This one's for you.
I wanted to address a few issues, and first seem to be the most significant facing the city. Well, there are several in the last few weeks that have come out into the open. The first on my mind is the homeless situation with the Keystone Mission going under. And I see that the county is filing litigation to recover some of their money, which was, I think, ARP money. And I wonder if the city, Mayor Brown could comment on that, if he has any intentions of doing that, such a thing, to try to recover. I know it wasn't the city's money directly, but I think they did receive a chunk of ARP money, did they not? So things look pretty bleak from what I've read. Now, I don't know all the details here, but I was wondering if there's a plan B that the city has here. Obviously, maybe don't have to worry as much in the dead of the summer, as, of course, as fall and winter approach. With the homeless situation, Keystone will not be, as far as I know, accepting people that are giving them showers and meals, etc. So as I see it, unless you people have a different answer, the problem is going to only be aggravated. The homeless situation is going to increase, and you may see more and more camps over Kirby Park, which I guess city officials will see fit to destroy in time. People hanging around the square, et cetera, that may not be the most aesthetically pleasing. So I just wonder what the mayor or any of you people on council, I see Jessica is not here again, might have some opinion about as to what direction, what's going to happen here, and if there's going to be any litigation, if you intend to file. I think that's one good thing. I'm not in favor of too many things that Kokomo does, but that's one thing I think I have to stand behind her for. I don't know if they'll get any money out of it. Second thing is well, there are several things, but this heat wave that we're having, of course, even the most adamant climate change denier will admit that we've got a problem on our hands. And I'm sure I won't get any answers, but I still think it's a disgrace that not only does the city have no swimming pool for children and adults, and I see there have been some problems with kids trespassing on private property swimming in the pools. And I remember, as I said before, in the previous administration, under the Layton administration, a couple of kids drowned going because there was no place to swim. And I see a kid drowned up here at the tubs already this season. I don't understand why the city, it's a minimal cost, or council. I mean, you guys are meeting once a month. I mean, come on. There's a lot of problems facing this city. Can't we arrange a bus for maybe once a week at least to go to the Kingston pool, to take these kids, or adults too, to the Kingston pool? It's just not right. Now we have no public high schools and we have no swimming pools, whereas you used to have 3 high schools and 4 swimming pools at one time. I want to address also in the time remaining, I don't know if Mr. Henry wants to comment. Just got a sewer bill that I have to pay, and I understand, from my understanding, the city puts all the revenue from the sewer account into the general fund. I assume that's legit because you haven't quit over this sort of thing. But by the same token, isn't that morally wrong, just given all the infrastructure problems that the city faces now? This thing on, what's the name of the street? Horton Street. This sinkhole. I don't know, would you have any idea, Mike? Is the WVSA going to pick up any of this tab? Or they're going to pick some of it up? We don't know how much yet, I guess. Well, that's good to know because, the city does get some revenue from the WVSA. But by the same token, I think that, here's an example of that money that you're going to spend on the streetscape project. Couldn't that be spent on infrastructure itself? What has to happen here to try to prevent things like that? I know we have old sewer lines and old water lines, et cetera. Well, this is a problem that's, I wonder if there are going to be any impending solutions here. I understand a truck almost went down to the sinkhole. So I'm just wondering now, is the city going to try to do something to prevent, and that money that you borrowed, Mr. Brown, from the county, which hasn't, I don't think, received yet by the city, is that going to have to be diverted here to the Horton Street deal? Then going to have to postpone this? What do you call that thing on Cunningham Ave? The culvert?
No, they're all separate, Sam. Do you like to, Mr. Mayor?
Sam, you jumped around a bit. I'm going to try and answer as many as I can because, you're jumping around a little bit. But let's get to Keystone Mission first, okay? The monies that the city allocated to open that up, that was an empty warehouse. We actually allocated $324,000, okay?
Cunningham's?
No, let me finish, okay? $224,000 went into building that facility, okay? It was going to cost $324,000. I reached out to Representative Pashynski. He came up with $100,000. So to open that facility, take a warehouse, convert it to what you have today, the offices, the big day room where people sleep, the showers, cost roughly $300 and some thousand. Our checks that went from the ARPA funds went right to the builder. The gentleman that owned the building, Joe Rinkus, we paid to his company directly to actually build that facility. So it didn't go to Keystone Mission, Sam, it went to building the facility for people to go that were homeless from Keystone Mission. The other $109,000 did go to Keystone Mission that we gave them, but that was to supply a place to go for homeless people 7 nights a week. Before that, we didn't have it. Speaking to the executive director, she said, Mayor, it'll cost $109,000 a year to staff it for homeless people, and we paid that to Keystone Mission, $109,000. And Sam, that money was used for a whole year, June to June, to staff a place for people to sleep at night, 7 nights a week. So the money that we gave, $224,000, was sent and paid to the construction of the facility, to the owner of the building. The other $109,000 went to Keystone to pay for staffing. So our money's accounted for. I can't speak for the county, but our money was accounted for. The other part about what's going to happen to the homeless, 2 weeks ago, Jennifer from CEO called a meeting to address what's going to happen to the homeless people as Keystone Mission shuts down. And what we did was, it was Jennifer from CEO, it was people from the county, I attended the meeting, people from Salvation Army, from Mother Teresa's Haven, who's also a homeless shelter, and also, as I said, from the Salvation Army and Volunteers of America. We met on a Tuesday, and we were waiting to find out from Keystone Mission how many homeless will be left after they try to place people at other facilities, or contacting family members and saying, you know, so-and-so is here, we're willing to make sure that that person gets safely back to your house, your hometown. Will you care for those people? That's a mission that Keystone took on. Our mission was to try and help the people that were left. We did not get any indication how many were left after that. So, talking to Jennifer the following day, which was Wednesday, I said, let's schedule another meeting for Thursday. Same 8 people, same organizations. Hopefully Keystone Mission's representative would be there at the Thursday meeting. Did not have anyone from Keystone Mission there at that meeting either. The whole idea was to try and have a place for those people to go to that were not relocated by Keystone Mission. We still never found out, Sam, how many people needed help from either Volunteers of America, the Salvation Army, the county, CEO, or Mother Teresa Haven. So we still do not know how many people still have to be placed. Keystone Mission shut down as of today. That facility is shut down.
As of
And we
today?
still don't, yes, sir. And we still don't know how many people need help. Don't know that, okay? So I'm trying to answer those 2 questions for you, and that's the best I can give you, because I don't know right now, you know, where those people are at, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Alan Rosenbaum? I think that's Baum.
Hi, I'm Alan Rosenbaum, and yeah, I guess we're gonna need a handicap parking space in front of the house and on Hazel Street. Now the good thing is that there's a Dominican deli on the right side and a fish market on the left, so they're doing pretty good. But anyway, sometimes we come home, there's nowhere to park. And my wife, her leg's almost healed, but it took a couple years. She bought a scooter and everything, so I fill out a permit for this? Okay, so I'll have to do that.
You'll see Nancy. Go to the first floor of the tax office on the first floor and see Nancy,
Okay.
okay? And she'll help you.
And now a good thing is I feel very safe with the Dominican people around us. In fact, I had an old Spanish Bible. So I gave it to Jay at J. Marie's. And he took it and he kissed it and said, El Señor. I said, oh my God, he really believes in Jesus, so that's very good. So anyway, we're thinking about a little music store in the fall. I talked to Mr. Harris about it, and so that'll be like September, October. But I guess I should do permits.
Yep.
For that, okay. And that's about it, so.
Yep, so see, ask for Nancy.
Nancy, okay, thank you very much, and.
Thank you.
Sir, if you heard Councilman Barrett earlier, you need to get a plate, license plate.
Yeah,
So what you do, Nancy will tell you, go to, across from the old Holy Redeemer, Eddie Dapushinsky's office.
oh, okay,
Fill out paperwork at his office. He'll give you the paperwork to get your license plate.
oh, yes, yes.
Go there, after you leave City Hall, go to Eddie Dapushinsky's office and explain to them you want to get a handicap plate, and he'll give you the papaperwork.
Okay,
I'm going
sounds
through the
good.
process right now with a resident, so I know exactly.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yeah.
you're going to have to go to traffic committee.
Okay, thanks, and, no, oh wait, last question, is there a pool in Kistler working, or?
No.
Oh, okay. But I guess, are they gonna redo the pipes, or?
I don't think that's going to reopen up, from my understanding, from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's hard to do stainless steel pipes and pools and all that. It's a lot of work, so. Okay, good luck, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments? Good, okay. Move for adjourn.
Not bad. 45. You got the eggs on. You're ready for tomorrow morning.